Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. This time around we are going to try out the new firefighter job. So let's get going. We should have what it's called, voluntary firefighters station over here. I mean, it's not really a station, it's just a truck, a guy and a spawner. Should also have a hydrant over here for filling up the truck again. So yeah, stuff like this without any real building is placed around different areas here, just to make the availability a bit better. But yeah, since we already had a fire over here behind Ghost and Truck, I thought this might be a good one to start with. Just put that one out. So we'll just drive that one over and then we can just get going and see how the entire job works right now. I mean, I'm kinda aware how it works. I've done it quite a few times in testing, but things may have changed a bit between then and now. I didn't play too much on the T1 or T2 update. I mean, they came out really quickly after each other, so yeah, I'm maybe a day or two late with the update video, and we immediately got to T3, and I mean, it's kind of cool, especially what they did with the T3 version. There's something that I've been wanting to get improved for quite a while, and that is the search and rescue job. They've done a little thing with it, which is a huge improvement in the end, doing the close testing, but it needed a bit more fine-tuning, and that finally happened with the T3 update earlier today. So that's something that we will also check out at some point. Maybe not in this episode, I'm not entirely sure. One thing I would like to see for this episode is whether or not the Halloween stuff has been removed again. I mean, we now get the Krampus ghost to spawn, but I was still hoping to maybe get some Halloween decoration for a house that I was trying to decorate. Okay, that's a huge fire, but interestingly enough, the center seems to be extinguished. So maybe the stuff goes out on its own at some point and then just moves further to the outside. But yeah, we're gonna get going here and try to extinguish this, because this is a massive fire. So let's power up the cannon, toggle on the water. Okay, immediately getting a first responder bonus, that's nice. And then move it left to right, can also move it up and down. I have to do the left and right through the menu. The up and down I can do with the triggers, because those are not being used for anything else right now. But yeah, the other controls kinda conflict with my custom controller layout. But yeah, basically this is what you do with it. You just point the cannon in the right direction, then move it up and down to get as much as you can before moving further in. I might want to focus on the right side first and then move into the left here. The firefighter outfit, by the way, also has a function. I should maybe show you guys that before fully extinguishing the water here, so let's just let it do its thing here. Fire can actually hurt you, and if it hurts you too much, you get downed. And wearing the firefighter costume makes that take a lot longer. So if I go in here without it, you can see how quickly that goes up. And if I just take too much damage, I'm gonna get slowed down, and if I then take more damage, even at some point I'm downed, and then I don't know if anybody could even pick me up right now, but I could certainly teleport to some other place to get out of that situation. I hate how this does weird things with the controls. I mean, can already toggle on the water. This is a really large fire, larger than what I've seen up until this point. but the water in the cannon isn't really all that precious. We got enough of that. The damn thing might actually drive a bit nicer once we just get a bit of hot water out. Make it a bit lighter. The good thing is you hear that sizzle whenever you extinguish water, so that can actually help. You can also close the menu, go back to the driver's seat and then just drive like that. The problem is, depending on your engine RPM, that's also affecting how far the cannon shoots. So yeah, and if you go into neutral, it's just gonna power up to the point where you were before. So you can maybe do something over here, but it's a bit fickle driving around. So having a second person here would actually be really helpful. Somebody to control the cannon while you might be driving. But yeah, it's still something that you can easily do on your own. It's not too complicated. It's kind of nice that you can actually get some benefit out of having another player with you. I don't know how it's going to work with the payout, but it would definitely help speed things up if somebody was manning the cannon while the other person was driving the truck around. Okay, just trying to get the whole thing here as good as I can. So my overall conclusion on the job right now is that it's a bit split. First up, they initially want to make this update about the mailman job, just get another job in, but they want to make this a bit more unique compared to other delivery jobs, and they didn't really know what to do with it exactly. So they switched over to it. So the timeline for this job was already shorter than what they actually wanted it to be. And overall, I gotta say, the amount of stuff they managed to put in here in that short amount of time is really impressive. Like making the fire function, making the water function, and extinguish a fire. I mean, adding the truck in, I guess they had that on standby for a while now, I don't know. But getting all of this done to this extent with this many new mechanics is something that I do not take for granted. That being said, I think the overall mechanic, the overall job that we have right now, the best word to describe it is clunky. The controls for the fire cannon, the water cannon here, they are clunky. Other things have been suggested, like being able to use the left stick instead on controller. Even if I was able to move it with all the predefined button sets, which I've complained about before that they don't work for my custom layout, and I tried to get this addressed a while ago. I think as far back as the Gulima rotator, where it really became a problem. Yeah, this is now a main part of this job, and it's really not helping. But also just the fact that the only vehicle available right now is the Brutus, which isn't really the best one to drive. We cannot upgrade it. We have to deal with it being so top heavy. And just only having the water cannon without any on foot action. I mean, we don't really have a reason to use the firefighter costume. It's just more for roleplay than anything. It has a function, but you don't ever get out of it. Also, I don't get why I have my... Why am I almost down? Am I inside the fire here? Doesn't really look like it, but... I mean, I'm inside the smoke for some reason, but that might all be underground. That was the stuff spawning underground was actually a huge issue before. I hope that's not the case here. But yeah, as it is right now with what we have available, it's pretty cool what they managed to do in that amount of time. But for what we have in terms of gameplay, it just doesn't really hold up that well, in my opinion. And yeah, if we're not supposed to get the truck for ourselves, if we're not supposed to customize it, then it really needs a better tune from the get-go. This thing doesn't even have... I'm trying to engage the parking brake here. There are menus. This thing doesn't even have a front winch, which it really should have. But there are also maybe some more different types of jobs. I know that some of the tow requests around the world, they can spawn being on fire. I don't know if they managed to do anything about the issue of those vehicles being on fire really not paying out that well, because they're not getting any condition bonus anymore. Those things end up being fully destroyed. So, I don't know. It was definitely on the Trello that they wanted to do something about it, but so far I'm not entirely sure if they have done anything about it. I haven't encountered any of those jobs recently. But yeah, right now, kind of a cool thing in principle, but also a bit undercooked in terms of what it represents right now. I think it needs at least another major update in order to really shine. But yeah, I kind of love that they are doing stuff like this to begin with. For the longest time they didn't add any new jobs or anything outside of new stuff for trucking, but that was always more or less a copy and paste thing. We might get another trailer here and there, but overall it's still the same main thing. You go to a place, you load up the trailer in the same way. It might be a different trailer with a different cargo type in it, but still the same kind of loading, still the same regular truck load hauling, and in the end same kind of drop-off thing. Nothing mechanically different about it, apart from people then complaining when something different was added in B-double trailers and you're actually having to do a bit of work in order to load or unload them, which in my opinion is still the most interesting part of the job. And otherwise, if I don't want those complications, I would just go with the regular size trailers. But that's really a different discussion altogether. Okay, this is all visible fire extinguished. And I got 72k for that. I'm just gonna close that. And we should be good here. So yeah, that was one fire. I mean, the payout was pretty good. Maybe a bit too much almost, but yeah. Definitely worth the effort. I mean, honestly, I wish we had some directive in terms of how much money per minute or per hour you're supposed to get, something to measure against. I mean, there would of course be a lot of other factors. For example, this is using a borrowed truck, so we don't own this, we don't have any investment in this whole thing. With other jobs we might have something else going on, like it being a huge upfront cost getting the vehicle. Maybe it would also be part of the supply chain, so the later stuff in there should maybe pay a bit more of an hourly rate. But yeah, I think for just a job on its own, this is a really high payment. I was around 13 minutes in and I didn't even start right at the job site, so yeah. Currently looking for a fire hydrant because I managed to actually get through quite a bit of water. That was a much larger fire than what I was used to. But yeah, overall there are a lot of mechanics to this. The rain can help extinguish the fire a little bit. Actually used to put out the fire completely before, but they nerfed it down because often, yeah, you can barely find a fire, and when you got one, the rain just takes care of it and you don't even get to see it. So rain helps a little bit, but it doesn't completely take care of it. And there are some other stuff like that. I should actually open up the patch notes to check them out at the same time. We can also just fill this up again, at least a little bit. I'm just going to tap out real quick and open up Discord for this. Let me just check the patch notes so that I don't forget anything major. So, yeah, fires can be spotted, and that happens if you go anywhere where you can theoretically see the smoke or flames. Also, NPCs can sometimes spot fires once they are large enough, so that's how that can happen. So if you don't see a fire in the menu, which I cannot open right now, it doesn't mean that there is none, it might just not have been spotted. But yeah, we can refill water, change the seat, extinguish fire, we get vehicle damage, character damage, anything else damaged, and there's also now a fire frequency option. So yeah, I've basically shown you guys the main part of this. Let's check the things in here. No, I don't. I need to move away from the hydrant first. I think they also swapped out a lot of hydrants that were already placed in the game for ones that should be able to refill our vehicle. So, but yeah, there are a few other options here. There's one available with fire size 2. They're actually 2 right next to each other. So, yeah, the thing is, when you're already next to the guy here, you can just despawn your vehicle. I think it should be respawning, otherwise I can spawn another one right here and it comes pre-filled. So, there's the stock spawn back in. So, yeah, it's not really all that necessary to refill the fire engine, but honestly it really depends on how frequently you can find a hydrant to begin with. I've only noticed hydrants where you can get the fire engines, and at that point just get a new truck and don't bother refilling it. Otherwise, if these are out in the wild and come up at a certain frequency, then of course this will be a decent option. You can also fill the water into one of your tankers and use that. But as it is right now, I mean, going into this area, I'm of course much better off going to Pyrosun over here. So yeah, let me get the trophy out and then we can just drive over there. But yeah, besides, like, I think only 2 real fire stations, we get a lot of these voluntary firefighter things where it's just a person standing in the parking lot. I'm curious if we can even do anything about this one. Let's approach this one first and then go to the next one. But yeah, people have been hoping to get this truck in order to customize it, not only for the performance but also just for the looks. One thing that I would like for this one is to actually remove the cage around the front. I think that would also be a nice option if it was equipped randomly, so some of the trucks just spawn with it, some without, just to give them a bit more variation. It would also be a nice option to be put on other Brutus variations. I mean, the cap should be the same on all of them, pretty much. I mean, there are a few little different options here. This one, for example, that's hard to see right now. Yeah, those lights don't shine up either. There is a roof hatch on this one. So I guess somebody could get on the roof and manually aim the cannon, which isn't a thing here. But yeah, other Brutus variations have other things on the roof. But besides that, it's kind of the same. I would like to have those little white lights in the back. They are looking nice. Just as an attachment option. But yeah, everything else we're really gonna see where they take this. Would also be nice if you could maybe get into some buildings and yeah, put out the fire with hoses, just really get in there and fight on foot. And I mean, of course, also extinguishers. I've had an idea for that kind of thing. Maybe if we destroy both the engine and the radiator, maybe then the cars could catch on fire and we would maybe have a benefit of having an extinguisher. I think that would be kind of cool. As long as it's not like too annoying. But then again, getting to that damage is not too tough, but it takes a while. Okay, let me get in the 2 locked mode and also try and find out where the fire is to begin with. Ah, over there. So right now the fire, while being shown as being bright, it doesn't really emit any light, and that might also be a bit of an issue. Not entirely sure, might be something that could kill performance quite easily, so might be better as it is right now. But yeah, we are going to put this out and make a decent bit of money for that. First responder bonus. I hate how these things come up above everything else. It's just kinda all getting in the way. But yeah, that was a quick one. 18k, 23k with first responder bonus, so yeah, nice. Okay, let's then just accept the next one. Fire size of 96, so that should be a bit more of a job than this one, but not as crazy as the first one. Like, I've seen fires usually with 200, and I think maybe 1 or 2 with 400 size, and the other one was over 500, so yeah. But yeah, we can see the fire from here, which is kinda nice, that it has a long render distance. Oh yeah, I'm still in the 4L lock mode, so of course I cannot go that quick. I was wondering why the truck was redlining, but yeah, of course. Yeah, another one where there's a noticeable gap in the center. But let's move over, let's get the water on. First responder. Always going to get that in single player, I mean, yeah. The thing I don't know right now is what happens if you just completely ignore the fires. I don't think they are going to do too much, but yeah, gotta be careful about it. I kind of like that they are optional to actually address. In the end, if you really like the job, there should be enough for you to keep going with it. But it shouldn't be overwhelming, and it shouldn't be a case where, hey, if you like your world, you better drop whatever you're doing. There's a fire here, and you gotta take care of it. Like, you don't wanna have people forced to do the job if they actually want to do something else. After all, this is a variety game, and you don't get variety by forcing somebody to prioritize one job over everything else. Although I guess the payouts here, they are really going to help keep people interested, or more like keep people doing the stuff. As it is right now, after the testing and all, I'm a bit lukewarm on the job. As I said, it's not a bad addition by any means. It's also, once again, very, very impressive what they've managed to do in that short amount of time. But this really needs a few more things, a bit more variation in order to really shine. But yeah, if they spend a similar amount of time and effort as they did for this first version, with maybe the next update or so, then this can be a real nice and good thing really quickly. If they move on to something else and leave this for a few months, maybe a year or something, then it would be a huge missed opportunity. But yeah, to some degree, this has been a tactic with this game. Just get something in that works and is a bit more of a proof of concept than anything else. Nice. Then really just make it finished, because that's gonna take a long, long time. And with how they go back to things months and years later, it's really hard to ever call something definitively finished. So, yeah. Just trying to check if there is any marker about something being on fire. That one got lost in the fields there, so we might see a burning truck or something once we go in with the rollback truck next episode or something. I don't know if I want to go in for the rollback next time, but yeah, there's other stuff to still check out. We also got a new road over here, which is something that I've been waiting on for quite a while. So this new road, coastal road on the northwest end of Oldley, that thing is actually really nice and very important, because it can now serve as a new route to get to Dasa. I'd be careful with it though, because while this road isn't really too tricky, the other part between especially the landfill and Bayang, that's a really tough stretch of road there. So I tried getting some containers from Dasa to, I think, Anson or something. This part, no problem. Bit of a problem, huge problem. So gotta be careful. Some jobs, especially things like transporting terrors to the quarry, might be much easier on this route. We gotta try this out at some point. This might also be a good route for vehicle transport from Dasa, but anything too heavy, you still may want to use the main road. And that's actually a good thing. While I've been waiting for a different road option to be viable, to not always take the same one, and we now get this. But this being only a good thing for a few jobs is kind of nice because it still keeps the main road relevant. But really, depending on the job, you want to either use the West Coast road, you want to use the main road that goes through the middle of the island, or the East Coast road. And having some purpose for each of them is a really good thing. Healthy for the game so that you don't always do the same thing on the same route. And yeah, we're gonna check out this road at some point. But they might not have to do anything with the new vehicles because those are kinda independent from that. But yeah, right now it's really just a through road. There isn't any point of interest on there. Unless somebody spots a fire or got a rescue request or something around there. But that place is actually really gorgeous and I'm happy that we got this. So we're gonna have to check it out sooner or later. But yeah, last thing I want to do today is see if they actually got rid of the Halloween content. I've been decorating a house with Halloween stuff and I was meaning to get some more cobwebs. In the last update, those cobwebs, they still fell through the floor if you didn't install them. So it was really hard transporting them from the house to the actual place. You couldn't really put them down on a cargo bed or something because they would just fall through. So yeah, I still want to get some of those for my Halloween house, but that might be a bit too late now. I mean, I can show you that house in a moment anyways. It's looking pretty nice. So it doesn't really need them, but it would be nice to have some of them at least. It was always a plan to have them, but it just didn't work out initially. So it would be nice to see if something changed. I think it did change at some point, but I just didn't grab them in time. I don't know what it is about the car, but it gets really a bit tail happy once you reach speed. It's really hard to keep it straight. Which is why it might be better to not over-tune this. And yeah, it's just gonna try and spin out every now and again. Also, one thing I want to check here, it's still having the L-shaped brake lights. Should only be the upper and outer segments of the taillight. There's been some discussion about that. It sounds like it might still be active. Nope, the costumes are gone and... oh, the pictures are all changed. We can still buy a chair over here, but that's about it. I don't remember this one. Is this a new thing? Okay. Yeah, so that's all back to normal and... bit of a shame. Maybe the cobwebs are still here. I doubt it, but... I mean, a man can dream. Nope. Oh. I don't remember this table. Does this place have different furniture available during the rest of the year? I mean... that's new from what I remember. I thought it just didn't have anything during the rest of the year and you should only come here for the Halloween stuff, but this might actually still have something to offer. I want that chandelier. I don't think there's any ceiling high enough for that one, but I want it regardless. Give me the treasure chest here as well. I could probably try to roll back and yeah, get some of the stuff from the Halloween event from the live version. I don't think I really need that though. It's okay. I wish there was a repeat of the event during the summer or something, like half a year later. Okay, this is now closed. That's kind of a secret door back there. Let's go down here. I mean, just seeing that there is other furniture available now makes me really curious about the rest of the place here. Nothing in here. But yeah, so much about this, I guess. Still cannot buy the piano. But yeah, there are a few more tables available up in the attic, and that's kind of nice. Might have to grab one of those at some point. But yeah, let me quickly show you guys the Halloween house. I think it's over here. Yeah, I think that's it. I still have some furniture here that I actually uninstalled because I didn't find a good place for it. But yeah, we have a lot of things going on here. Very well lit up, at least on the outside. So I got a lot of spooky stuff, some of different decorations here. And just put stuff everywhere. So if we go in here, we got a lot of paintings, actually 2 of the same. I was actually meaning to maybe get a few more of these because I just love this motif. The Scream one, and I mean, maybe could use this in another place as well. Might have to wait until next year now. I think I might have stored away some here and there. These are of course my costumes, so this is kind of my collection. And we got a separation in here for the bedroom and everything. Lots of candles and everything, but overall, yeah, I should maybe get a few more light fixtures. These lights are sadly not really illuminating anything. But yeah, overall pretty spooky, pretty nice. I think I'm in the high 80s with my pop count over here, so not too much more I can do about this, but overall, yeah, this is already pretty highly decorated, so not much more that needs to be done about this. This is something that I especially love, just having the cat picture in the middle here. Fits really in quite nicely with the shelves around it. But yeah, I might need an actual light over here. But then, for the most part, this is good to go. This is pretty much done. I wanted to also quickly check out, is there maybe another one over here? Oh yeah, I think, I just wanted to see if all the special props have been removed as well. So there used to be some chairs in this place. Yeah, they are no longer here. So yeah, if you're trying to find something specific for Halloween, better do it quickly now because it's about to all be gone. I mean, I can check out the rooftop terrace real quick. But then we should probably also end the episode right here. This is where you get the fancy carpet that I had in that other house right there. I just need to find a way onto the top of the building. So, yep, stuff's gone as well. So yeah, all of the Halloween stuff is going away. If you don't get it before it's too late, then you're kind of out of luck with it. But yeah, it's all likely going to come back next year, and then you can get it all again. But there's also, of course, the Christmas stuff, so that might be another house decoration for a different place here. But yeah, that's gonna be another episode, or in terms of decoration, I might just do it off screen. I like taking my time with that, and therefore it doesn't really fit too well into an episode. But yeah, Halloween stuff is officially gone on the testing version. Keep that in mind if you wanna try it out. But other than that, I mean, the firefighting, especially if you haven't done it before, it's a good amount of fun for a few times. I've gotten a bit tired of it for now. I would like it to get a few more features here and there. And I mean, we haven't really seen any car or other vehicle being on fire. That might happen next episode, I don't know. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And see you next time. Bye bye.